Can I ask you a question? Have you ever looked around at your life and realized that it doesn't look at all like the version that you imagined for yourself when you were younger? And not because it's terrible or not because you failed, because it's just different. Because lately I've been thinking a lot about that. I feel like I might be in the middle of like a quarter life crisis or a little bit past a quarter life crisis. I think that's the root of my frustration lately because when I was younger, I was absolutely convinced that I was going to be a millionaire by 30. And before you laugh, I'm being serious. Not hopeful, not maybe, not it would be nice, like full on convinced. I thought by 30, I'm going to have the dream house, I'm going to have the dream job, career, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to have businesses. I'm going to have financial freedom, all the opportunities, all of it. And honestly, I didn't think it was a crazy dream. I mean, I still don't think it's crazy. I'm still working towards it. And I've worked really hard. I've done what I feel like I was supposed to do. And I eventually thought that all of those things and all of those choices would eventually add up to the life that I imagined. And then I turned 31. And here's the thing, right? Like, my life isn't bad. And actually, there are a lot of good things that I truly am grateful for. I have a family that I love, I have friends that I love, I have a career, I have growing platforms. So, this isn't one of those videos where I'm pretending that everything in my life is awful because it's definitely not. But I definitely think that two things can be true at the same time. You can be grateful for the life that you have, and you can still feel disappointed that it doesn't look the way that you thought it would. And I don't think people talk about that enough. The grief of a timeline, the grief of realizing that life didn't happen in the order that you would have expected. And a lot of us have these invisible timelines in our head. By 25, I'm going to have this. By 30, I'll have that. By 35, I'm going to be here. And then one day you wake up and realize that life didn't follow the same exact timeline that you set when you were 15 years old. And then suddenly you're trying to figure out, like, what does that mean? Because if I'm being honest, I didn't just think that, okay, I'm gonna have more money. I thought that I would have more certainty. I thought I'd have more clarity. I thought that I would know exactly what I was doing at 31, and I don't. And social media actually doesn't help because every day you can find someone younger than you that is doing the exact thing that you thought you'd be doing, making the money that you thought you'd be making, living the life that you thought you'd be living. And if you're not careful, you can start looking at your own life and thinking that you're behind. And I've definitely done that. I mean, y'all have witnessed it, especially lately. I've been doing a lot of that when subconsciously I know that I shouldn't, but we're human and we get into those cycles sometimes. And the thing is, I know better. I know that social media is a highlight reel and that people show the good things in their life, rightfully so, right? We're all not comfortable showing, the things that we go through that aren't glamorous or aren't the most positive. I know comparison isn't helpful. I know all these things, but knowing something and feeling something aren't the same thing. And honestly, I think this is what I've really been struggling with lately. It's not YouTube, it's not content, it's not social media. I think those are the things where like my personal frustration just shows up. But underneath all of that is a bigger question that I feel like we are all trying to answer. Am I actually moving towards the life that I want? Sometimes progress can feel really obvious, and other times it can feel like you're working extremely hard but not moving at all. And I think that's the hardest thing to sit with, especially when you're an ambitious person like myself, especially when you've always had big dreams. I've always had big dreams since I was a little kid. From like the moment that I can remember, I've always dreamt big and I've always had an emotional attachment to my dreams. So when you spend your whole life thinking that if you work hard enough, eventually things would click and then they don't, I think the real feeling that I have is feeling stuck. Because boring means nothing is happening at all. Stuck means things are happening, they're just not happening as quickly as we want. And that's personally where I'm at right now. I have been trying to come online and act like I'm not struggling with that, but I am. I'm really struggling with it. I'm really struggling with it. But I think what I'm experiencing now is exhaustion. I think I'm experiencing just plain exhaustion. Maybe that's the part that nobody really prepares you for. Like we're taught from young, if as long as you work hard, you'll get it, right? And so we come up with these unrealistic sort of like I guess measurements of just like what it means to work hard because I can argue and say that I've worked extremely hard and yet I'm still in the same spot. Same spot, right? I know I'm not. I have made progress, but like my life still looks the same. And nobody prepares you for that. And it's not that you failed, it's just like no one prepares you for the waiting. You have to wait. You have to wait your turn. Like on a line, you can see how many people you have in front of you and how many people are behind you. When you're trying to accomplish your dreams, you have no idea like when your turn is going to come. You just know that you have to be prepared. And maybe the lesson is that my dreams aren't unrealistic. Having financial freedom, having a business, having a creator career that I am proud of, none of that is unrealistic. Maybe the lesson is that I underestimated how long it was going to take. And maybe you're in that place too. Maybe you're looking around too and wondering why your life doesn't match the timeline that you had imagined. Maybe you're questioning your career, your goals, your finances, your relationships. Maybe you're wondering if you're behind. Maybe you're wondering if it's supposed to feel easier than this by now. And if that's you, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not the only one. At 31, I still have a lot of questions that I don't have answers for right now. I wish I did. I wish I could tell y'all that I had it all figured out and that I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I wish I could tell y'all how to stop feeling behind. I wish I could tell y'all how to make peace with the life that doesn't really look like what you imagined right now. I can't, because I'm still living it too. What I can tell you is I don't think that we're the only women who thought that we'd be further. I don't think we're the only women that are looking around and wondering what we're doing. And honestly, I think that's why I decided to make this video. Not because I have the answer, but because it's nice to know that you're not the only one that is asking the question. So if you're a person that's trying to figure out what's next while trying to still appreciate what is, I see you, sis. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get it together. Anyway, sister, that's all I've got today. I'll see you in the next one.